morning. Anything we can help you with this morning?
Yes, I was wondering, was this chicken imported or is it produced in Alberta?
100% local. All of our poultry and beef and pork products are all grown and produced locally.
Super. Thank you
Okay,
very
if
much.
there's anything else, just give us a holler.
I will, thank you.
Thanks.
Mom, why did you ask if it was from Alberta?
I know products from Alberta are healthy and safe for our family. Other countries have standards that are different than ours, and I just want to make sure that we have the best for our family.
Supply management has been in force since the 1970s in Canada, and so Canada's dairy and poultry industries and related industries to that have all evolved under the supply management system.
What it does is it's provided stability for a producer to know what he will receive in terms of returns, and it also provides stability in terms of financial institutions so that we can assess the risk on a loan application with some degree of certainty and be comfortable that what the producer is setting out to do he can actually attain.
Supply management provides for us real stability. We know what our income is from month to month. We know what our costs are generally.
For us, it provides a very manageable way of doing business for our customers. And so supply management, when you look at it, really doesn't cost the government any money at all, yet it supplies some excellent product for the Canadian consumer.
This farm has been in the family for about 100 years. In fact, we're celebrating 100 years in this location this summer, and actually been in the dairy business about 40 years.
Basically, the lifeblood of our community is agriculture, and without it, it would be pretty sparse.
Well, our practice does a lot of work with the dairy producers in and around the Edmonton area. And there's 6 veterinarians in our group, 4 of us that do large animal practice. And the dairy makes up 75% of our business. They get steady income, so they pay their bills on time, and it's good business for them, and it's good business for us in turn as well.
The supply managed sector of agriculture is very important to the rural economy in Canada, and it's particularly important to the feed industry in Canada. The commercial feed industry is heavily dependent on poultry and dairy producers. Their business is a valuable contribution to our business. But going further than that, the supply management sector and the participants in that sector at the farming level are great supporters of grain producers through their purchase of feedstuffs. They feed large quantities of barley and corn, feed wheat, etc., to their dairy or poultry, and so they're supporting grain producers in that way, and they're also great supporters of all of the communities in which they live.
We are an organization that's been around for more than 65 years, headquartered in Alberta. We operate facilities in 4 different provinces, British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Quebec. We sell nationally. We have over 2,600 employees across the country and more than 1,000 in Alberta. We are one of Canada's largest poultry processors.
The plant and hatchery began last summer. There was investments, if you look at the plant and equipment and rolling stock and those kind of things, of about $25 million in the southern Alberta economy. On a monthly basis, we pour millions of dollars into the economy here through wages, through buying of products and services and things like that. Everybody from electrical contractors to buying supplies, veterinary supplies, things like that. So it all adds up to quite a huge multiplier effect on a monthly basis here. Probably you could take, 4 or 5 million and multiply that out a couple of times over the course of a month.
Oh, the supply management process is huge, not only to the city of Lethbridge, but all of southwestern Alberta. If I can take the example of Sunrise Poultry, without that plant in our community, not only would we have lost the jobs and the income that come from that factory, but over time, probably the whole of the poultry industry in southwestern Alberta would have just evaporated.
Well, I've always been impressed by both the poultry industry and the dairy industry for their foresight in supporting both capital infrastructure that is necessary for us to do the research, as well as providing operating dollars to support ongoing research.
The stability that supply management brings to a producer helps mitigate the risk for a lender like myself and all financial institutions, but it's way bigger than that. It benefits the producer, it benefits the processors, whether that's chicken, eggs, milk. It puts a constant supply on the consumer's grocery shelf, and he knows it's going to be there every time. At the end of the day, the supply management doesn't just benefit one part of society, it's from the producer right to the plate, which when you think about it is every Canadian.
Alberta on both poultry and dairy side is producing meat and milk, at the very highest efficiency and also the highest quality. And I think one of the hallmarks of both the poultry and dairy industry in Canada is that we do have very high quality products. And on the milk side, which is one that I'm much more familiar with, I know that the Alberta milk or Canadian milk is really at the top of the league in terms of quality.
The supply managed sector strives to balance the demand for those products within Canada against the supply and level out the cyclical variations that occur in the other sectors.
What supply management does is give us an assured supply of product at a given volume, at a given price, at a given quality level.
If anything challenged the integrity of the supply management system, I believe the first thing that would happen would be the confidence of producers would be challenged. The impact of that would be overnight balance sheets where a third to two-thirds of a farm's assets would be at risk, because the price of quota doesn't just include the profitability for 1 or 2 years, it's a confidence level. And as we've seen with the stock market over the years, as soon as that confidence is eroded, the overall picture changes very quickly and very significantly.
Sacrificing supply management will jeopardize our milk supply, and as a result of that, we'll end up having to import our products from other countries, and I don't know that we want to take that kind of risk in the long term.
I think if the producers weren't there, the operation you see right behind me wouldn't be here. Grocery stores, manufacturing plants, restaurants, so on and so forth.
Well, I think Canada's in a difficult position because obviously the different agricultural sectors have different perspectives. I think it's important to remember in the trade negotiations that the supply managed sectors in Canada from a production perspective are profitable for growers. And so in particular, when I look at turkey and chicken producers in Canada, they don't require subsidies from government to stay in business. It is a system that sustains itself by production planning that allows the producer a return on his investment. It allows the processor the opportunity for an assured supply at an assured price. And consequently, the sector operates pretty much on its own and not dependent on subsidies and other support from government, which I think is very important. And consequently, the negotiations are really a challenge to balance that against other commodities that are produced in Canada that want more access to world markets, but that are heavily subsidized by governments around the world.
Don't mess with it. It's a good thing that we have now, and without it, I dare say that we would lose some operations.
We make more little money about making cheese. That give us more opportunity to keep the farm going. And that is really what we want to have. Just keep going what we do. Keep going, maybe increasing something. That is what we like to do.
Mom, we need milk and eggs. Are these eggs from Alberta?
Now that you can read, why don't you just read what's on the package?
South Edmonton, Alberta.
Great, we'll get them.
Mom, here's the milk. It's from Alberta.